Welcome to Supply Chain Management. In this video, we discuss the weighted moving average, or the second forecasting method that we'll cover in this class. With this method, we are considering that perhaps some of the data points in the past might have a different relevance, different importance than others. And this is what this methods will do for us. So you can see that in this formula, we use the same concepts as in the simple moving average, but we are adding the weight or the importance that we give to each of the past periods of data. Let's see in practice what it means. So we make it less abstract. We go back to our juice factory example, and here again, the same 6 months of sales data with a downward trend from February to June. And we are asking, what if we use a 6-month weighted moving average for which the weight for the last 3 months actually is greater than the weight for the first 3 months? So we think that the data points from April to June is more relevant, more meaningful than the data points from January to March. And we can choose what kind of weight to give to these months. And here we're going to use 3 examples. We can do a 20-80 split, 30-70, or 40-60. And all sort of combinations are possible as long as these percentages add up to 100. Now, you don't have to worry about how to get to these numbers. This will be given to you. You have to understand how to actually apply them. So let's look at one example. Let's look at the 20-80 example. In this case, we're going to say for the oldest 3 months, we'll give a 20% weight. They're going to be only 20% important to us. The last 3 months will be much more important. They will be 80% important to us. So we give them an 80% weight. So what does it mean when we're doing calculations? Here we go. We are going to add up the forecast of the initial 3 months, so January, February, March, and we multiply them by 0.2 or 20%. And then we average, we divide them by 3. We do a similar thing with the last 3 months, April, May, and June, but we multiply them by 0.8 or 80%. So we're going to take a larger chunk of these numbers that we did for this previous month. And again, here we divide it by 3 because we're selecting 3 months. And then we can add up these 2 numbers, and our forecast using 6-month weighted moving average with a weight of 20 and 80% would be 1,871. Let's look at the second example. What if we were to use a 30-70 split? Now, the first 3 months will multiply it by 0.3, so 30%, and the last 3 months will multiply it by 0.7, or 70%. You can see now the forecast has changed. Now, our forecast is 1,886 units instead. So here I made a summary. You can compare what was our 6-month simple moving average that we did in the previous video. So it was 1,916. I also calculated already the 40-60% split, which is 1,901. And then I'm reporting here the 30-70 and 28 forecast that we just calculated. What do you notice? What you might see is that the more weight you give to the recent months, so to the recent data, the more we pick up the declining trend in our forecast. You see, the more weight we give here, so with 80% to the recent month instead of 70 or 60, the more this decline has been captured in our forecast. So the more reactive we are in our forecast to the change in trends. So the weight is chosen based on the importance we feel of the past data. And again, you will not need to make this decision in the exam. The splits will be given to you. So you just have to apply them and to understand what effect they have and how much reaction they will have to the actual change in the data. So in this video, we talked about weighted moving average method. And here again, I leave you with two knowledge check. The first one being just the calculation themselves. We see here we have the same data, sales data we had in the previous video. We have 6 months, we sold 10 units. And then in July, we sold 30. In August, we sold 50. And the question is, what would be the forecast for September be if you use only 2 months of data? Specifically, what if the weighted moving average has a weight of 0.7 and 0.3? So you have a 30-70 split. And what would it be if instead you use a split of 10 and so 10% and 9% and 90%? And the answer are here below, so you can check if you did your calculations correctly. You can pause the video to do the calculations. In the meanwhile, I want to introduce you to the other knowledge check, which is, given the same data points, which of this forecast method would be more reactive to this trend change? Would it be the 30-70 split, or would it be the 10-90 split?